May 1st, 2014, WikiSpeed laying up a swatch of composites the night before the big layup. So if this doesn't cure well, we haven't wasted all the parts. We know our resin's bad or something's going up. So we just cut a piece of carbon fiber, plain weave, I think it's 5.7 ounce, and laid it just on plastic wrap. It just happens to be a piece of foam, but it's just plastic wrap to protect the table. And now here's biaxial mat. We laid epoxy that we mixed up, in this case 4:1 thin, on the carbon, and then smoothed it out, wet out the paper, wet out the carbon. And now we're going to wet out the biaxial mat, and it takes a little more epoxy because it's thicker. It's almost like a cast if you broke your arm.
Doesn't matter if you put on too much?
No. Well, okay, it does matter, but not to our detriment. What it does is it makes the final part heavier. So when we get it fully, but if we don't wet it out, it's a void spot that's just as soft as cloth. So that's actually a terrible thing. So I err on the side of over-wetting it. This is called a wet layup, where we're adding the epoxy ourselves. I err on the side of over-wetting the fabric, and then I kind of squeeze it out at the end.
Yeah.
Now I don't squeeze it all out. With vacuum bagging, with a resin trap, it'd squeeze out a lot more. But in this case, see, I didn't pour it on the last ply, the last sheet. Now this is a thinner fiberglass backing over the core material and the carbon on the inside. The mold side is typically the inside. Although tomorrow we're actually going to do male mold, it'll be reversed. But yeah, there was enough to wet it out all together. Just pressing it on, so I didn't have to pour more. Does anybody want any epoxy for anything? Is there anything that moves that shouldn't you want to pour it on? That's going to be strong. This is automotive grade epoxy. This is like 10-ton epoxy. So if somebody needs some, we've got some extra. It should kick in a minute, meaning it should start to harden. We'll have a little bit of smoke coming out probably. So there's enough in there.
So we can paste annoying people to their chairs.
Yes, and they will not move.
That'll be awesome.
If you put this in your hair, you'd have to cut out that part of hair. I mean, it would be over. Okay, and that is our layup. We let it sit at higher than 50 degrees Fahrenheit ambient. In here we'll set a thermometer next to it, and I'll leave the shop heat on. But it shouldn't get below 60 in here tonight. I should imagine it's probably not even going to get below 65. So we should be totally set. I'm going to sweep up the clippings, put the stuff away, and we'll have this back tomorrow. It should peel off and be rock hard. Now the danger is all these thin plies, they're going to be like little razor blades. So after we peel it off, we're going to take a cut-off wheel and put on a dust mask and cut the edges smooth. And then that'll be somebody's souvenir, a keychain or something, if that's what they want. Awesome.